done for Adam Schiff, because he created 3 years of a massive fallacy that did so much damage to this country and made us miss probably one of the most important stories of our lifetime. We were having hearings on impeachment while the coronavirus was exploding.
With razor-sharp sarcasm and a smirk that practically cracked the screen, Greg Gutfeld shredded Adam Schiff into political confetti. No mercy. He went after Schiff's obsession with always playing the lead role in every political drama, full of dramatic flair but empty on facts. It was a brutal takedown, a reminder that Schiff's spin machine isn't immune to reality checks. Raw, relentless, ridiculous.
Dems pop their dentures when Schiff finally gets censored. And so the House condemns the lies of the man with the zombie eyes. Last night, the House voted on party lines to censure Adam Schiff for promoting the Trump-Russia collusion hoax, which was as believable as Brian Kilmeade getting fan mail. 2 for 2. Schiff becomes only the 26th member ever to be censured, but to his credit, he's still the only member to have a 12-inch neck.
Before we dive deeper, hit the bell icon and subscribe if you're enjoying the show. Gutfeld didn't need stage lights, suspenseful music, or a teleprompter to roast Schiff. Schiff basically self-destructed every time he opened his mouth. He thought he was Hamlet. Greg treated him like a side character in a sitcom. And Gutfeld, he was a guy in the back row, munching popcorn and heckling every act.
Curb, and the irony is superb. He went crying to mommy on an app run by Chinese commies. Congressman Adam Schiff announced this morning he's running for U.S. Senate in California, which is guaranteed to boost U-Haul rentals headed for Texas. He unveiled the highly polished and produced political ad right on the heels of getting booted from the House Intel Committee. Coincidence? I think not.
According to Gutfeld, the best part of roasting Schiff was that Schiff never noticed. The man wandered through Washington like Apollo-programmed AI fed a diet of Cold War thrillers and CNN transcripts. He'd rehearse in the mirror for hours, only to deliver lines that hit like damp laundry. Gutfeld couldn't stop. Schiff was a leaky faucet of credibility, common sense, and classified intel.
Hearings on impeachment while the coronavirus was exploding. We talked about that virus in green rooms, but we had to do this impeachment story. We had to show these hearings. It's all on him, man. He's got to go. They got to investigate him. They got to hold him accountable. I'm not going to say he should go to prison, but my evil twin will say he should go away to prison for a very long time.
Greg started with the eyes. Those bugged out, breaking news mode eyes that looked like they were constantly witnessing a scandal or spotting a ghost. Gutfeld joked that Schiff in a classified briefing always looked like a guy who just remembered he left the stove on. He once said Schiff speaking at a MIC was like a Maycat delivering the State of the Union. All nerves, no reason.
Congressman Schiff, how are you?
Shame. Shame on you. Oh, yeah. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Gutfeld.
So, Congressman, I got to ask, how did it feel to have your ass chewed out like that in front of your colleagues?
Oh, well, I will say this, Mr. Gutfeld, it feels...
And then came the voice, slow, flat, hypnotic. Schiff could turn a parking ticket into a constitutional crisis. Gutfeld said listening to him was less like hearing an argument and more like being sedated. Even if Schiff announced an asteroid was heading for Earth, you'd still be scrolling your phone, waiting for something, anything, to matter.
That and the fact that Schiff hasn't blinked since 1992. And he didn't take the news so well. The disgraced Democrat went on TikTok to complain. Behold.
Hello, I'm Congressman Adam Schiff with some troubling news. Today, Kevin McCarthy removed me from the House Intelligence Committee, all for doing my job, for holding Trump accountable and standing up to the extreme MAGA Republicans.
What fueled Gutfeld's fire most was a delusion. Schiff didn't just think he was right. He believed he was the last honest man in Washington. Full of leaks, but presenting himself as a noble whistleblower. Gutfeld called it political performance art. Dramatic, self-righteous, and always time for peak news cycle. Schiff teased bombshells like a boardwalk magician promising levitation in 5 more minutes. The payoff? Always a dud. Fireworks promised, fizzles delivered.
Oh my. So Adam Schiff now admits he should have been much more clear about how he unleashed the impeachment circus. Note, when a politician says they should be much more clear, they mean, I wish you hadn't caught me lying to your face.
I should have been much more clear, and I said so the minute it was brought to my attention that I was referring to the fact that when the whistleblower filed the complaint, we had not heard from the whistleblower. We wanted to bring the whistleblower in at that time, but I should have been much more clear about that.
You know, instead of trying to be clear, it might just save time if you just decide.
Greg couldn't resist calling out the smugness. Schiff didn't talk to people. He talked down to them. Like a civics teacher no one asked for, certain his disappointment could reform the nation. Gutfeld said Schiff had the warmth of an IRS audit and the charm of a DMV kiosk. Humorless and slippery, he ran hearings like he was directing a courtroom drama. If Schiff hosted a game show, Russia would be the answer to every question. Headlines followed him like loyal puppies, but the facts? Not so much.
Bad when the Republicans took over, but it's far worse than we expected.
Cue the violins, people. But can he promise you this?
But I can promise you this. This is not the end of my fight for our democracy. This is just the beginning. Please join us and contribute today. Thank you.
Here's my question. How much will it cost for you not to run?
Gutfeld mocked Schiff's loose relationship with the truth. He called him the king of almost facts, the master of virtually confirmed. Schiff didn't lie. He just hosted the lies like guests who overstayed their welcome. Even after being proven wrong, he'd give another grave speech about democracy in danger. According to Greg, Schiff was a snake oil preacher warning you about scammers, all while lighting fog machines and promising transparency. And of course, there were the book deals. Schiff wrote memoirs like a secret agent, when in reality, he just binge-watched cable news. Greg's alternate title, How I Saved Democracy Without Breaking a Sweat.
Schiff champions transparency, all the while saying the whistleblower might not testify because it's a safety concern, he maintains, because we all know CIA agents can't protect themselves against non-existent threats, or that our government can't protect him from your Aunt Sally.
Our primary interest right now is making sure that that person is protected. Indeed, now there's more than one whistleblower that they are protected. And given that we already have the call record, we don't need the whistleblower who wasn't on the call to tell us what took place during the call. We have the best evidence.
Nothing escaped Gutfeld, not even Schiff's wardrobe. Greg said Schiff dressed like an anxious accountant who raided the clearance rack. Ties that screamed runner-up at debate club and suits that whispered background extra. And then there was a face, always frozen in mild panic, like he'd just seen a live ferret. War, taxes, cake, it didn't matter. That wide-eyed look never changed. But what really fascinated Greg was Schiff's persistence. Mistake after mistake, he didn't retreat. He doubled down. More speeches, more drama, zero accountability.
People on the planet, and I guess he makes it work, Tyrus. But
does he?
But isn't it? I mean, I don't want to get mad about this because he's such a joke. But the fact that he isn't going to be really get any punishment.
Shame, shame, shame. Shame on you. Oh, yeah. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Gutfeld.
Gutfeld called it the Schiff cycle. Dramatize, accuse, fade out, repeat. A political machine powered by headlines, not truth. Schiff didn't need to be right, just loud, theatrical, and vaguely doomsday. Greg painted a scene. Schiff alone on a dark stage, reading declassified memos to no one, convinced of saving the Republic. Schiff wasn't a politician anymore. He was an actor in a play that ended 2 acts ago. And the punchline? He thought it was working.
For Adam, not even Mitt Romney could help him. Everyone knew there weren't enough votes to convict. Even the media, their only way out of this hell, pretending that Mitt was a hero. Poor Adam. He really thought he had him. Well, we've talked about who won the impeachment trial. Now let's talk about who didn't. As I've said before, don't think the Dems aren't going to stop trying to find dirt on Trump. They'll look anywhere. Hell, they'll go to a local high school if they thought they'd find the...
Greg knew the show wasn't over. Every breaking headline was another act in the Schiff melodrama. Just when you thought he was done, Schiff would pop up with another grave press conference or a dire warning. Gutfeld compared him to a kid opening presents, hoping one finally get to gasp. Schiff turned zoning issues into national emergencies, delivered coffee orders like they were speeches to history, and carried the ego of someone with their own zip code. And now, Schiff's new angle was playing the victim. After years of throwing wild claims on national TV, he was suddenly shocked someone would criticize him. Greg found it hilarious. Predictable, but hilarious.
Details about the conditionality of either the military aid or that meeting with the Ukraine president, it may not be necessary to take steps that might reveal the whistleblower's identity to do that.
Not necessary, so much for transparency. But like everything, the Dems haven't thought this through. So not only are you going to impeach Trump, you're going to do it in secret, in the dark, reversing an election based on hearsay from some anonymous guy you will never, ever see who has ties to Democrats.